Many people know the way stammering sounds, but they don't know the way stammering feels. And stammering feels very, very bad. It takes a lot of internal struggle to be able to say the words. Just get stuck. It's because of the timing in between the brain and the mouth. The brain is the one that access your speech, while your mouth is just like a passage for the words to flow. Apart from that, I tend to read a lot. I read out loud. I love to hear my own voice. You speak for some people. It is not the same thing. Speech distance happens to everyone, but stammering is just for a specific set of people.
Yeah.
Something that should be smooth, but something came in between and make it not smooth. That is speech disfluency. The first thing is to love yourself. It's because the moment you love yourself, you're able to build up the energy that you need, internal fights, to be able to say your words. But for you, it was more of you having to calm down to access what you want to say and say it. Look at the camera and say it now. Love yourself. I had to love myself the way I am. I had to laugh at myself at some point. I had to get angry at some point.
And trauma caused stammering. To another episode of Sit at the Edge. I'm Precious Irebo, and today join me is Promise Iyiola. She's an health educator, a touching advocate, and also a biology graduate. That's a lot. Wow. You're welcome, Promise.
Thank you for having me here on your podcast.
Okay. One of the things that attracted me to your LinkedIn profile was your post on touching. And why it attracted me is because I grew up, maybe a lot of people don't know though, but I grew up stuttering or stammering, like they say. And my own, I think reverse is the case. Because for my own, I misplaced word, I misplaced word a lot. But instead of me, for example, to say how are you, if I say how you are, like, and especially when I'm talking very fast, and I know though, but most people don't know. So I want to ask you, like, you're positioning yourself as an health educator and also as touching advocate. Can you like walk me through your experience in recent times here?
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I've always stammered for as long as I can remember. And it used to make me feel so bad about myself and about what I wanted to achieve. It had so much impact and it affected me so bad. So many opportunities that I could have gotten that I missed because of the fear of speaking. But then it got to a stage I decided not to be held down by it. Started to show up sound. It's one thing that helped me to talk to the people that I know, that the fear you feel to talk is just inside you. Nobody sees it. It's just inside you. And once you are able to overcome this fear, you'll be able to speak up, even if you sound so bad. So apart from that, I have this mindset to always educate young people about their health. My favorite word is your health is your most important thing in this world. That's because no matter the level of success you want to achieve, it may be boxed in or boxed out by your health. So I take it upon myself to speak to everybody that I know that their health is too important and they have to take best care of it. Thank you.
You're welcome. See me smiling. I've been looking at your face and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm curious, what's the real cause for can you like walk me through the real cause of stammering?
Stammering is more what happens after the child is born, and it's not about that speaking. Or if I may ask you, have you seen anyone that speaks the moment you give birth to them?
No, not at all.
So it happens when the child is about to start speaking. That is when it happens. And it's not something that deals with the mouth or with any organ of the body. It's basically about the brain. It's more of the brain. It's how the brain access speech to the mouth. You know that we don't like speech don't happen just in the mouth. Your mouth is just like a passage for the words. The way the words form, it's basically in the brain. So in the process of the brain accessing the words together and passing it out to the mouth, some people stammer. You discover that some people have started saying the words they want to say, and in between they just get stuck. It's because of the timing in between the brain and the mouth. The brain is the one that access your speech, while your mouth is just like a passage for the words to flow. So if the brain says no, then at the moment it's impossible for the mouth to say anything. So it's just more like that.
You were saying the brain and the mouth. Like the mouth is just
Yeah.
the piece where the brain can express what it's thinking about. So is it more of a mental disorder, or how do I put it? Is it a mental disorder that maybe for like maybe the person growing up has this like, is this something of the mentally, or like the brain? Is it a mental disorder? And if it is, so why?
Well, no, it's not a mental disorder. Stammering is not a mental disorder. It's one of the myths out there that, oh, anyone who stammers has a mental disorder. But no, it's not like that. It is not true. Just like I said, stammering is how the brain access speech through the mouth. And it's different entirely from what mental disorder is. So there are cases where someone who stammers may be nervous, may be anxious, but we cannot say that such is mental disorder. Stammering is not a mental disorder.
For me, I would like to know how you overcame yours. Because for me, if you notice, I still drag with my word a little. It's not really obvious like that. But I started having to sit back and, think about what I'm about to say, like, think about what I'm going to say. Then I'll just say it before. I usually talk fast. So I'll think about what I'm about to say, then say it slowly. But over time, like it been years, over time I can now speak very, very, very well. But most times I still, it still enter one or two places. How were you able to? If you are currently enjoying this video, I'd love to ask you for a favor. Please, I'd love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think and I, we are putting in a lot of effort to be able to bring videos like this into our podcast every Thursday. So please subscribe to our podcast. You can share with your family, your friends, like, comments, and also let us know in the comment section who you want us to bring next on our podcast, and we will try our best to bring who you want to our podcast. So yeah, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. That's the only way you can support us. Control yours. How did you come into this reality? Like, I got to make this stop. Like, I have to make this stop. And how did you overcome?
The first thing I would love to say is that stammering is involuntarily. You cannot say you want to control it. It happens anytime. It happens unconsciously. It's not something that you can just say, okay, by this time, I will not stammer. It happens unconsciously. But the thing is that you are able to manage effectively by knowing yourself, knowing you stammer more, and looking for ways to reduce how you say. For me now, I stammer more with words like F, like P. So I try my best not to use those sounds when I'm speaking. And apart from that, I tend to read a lot. I read out loud. I love to hear my own voice, even though it can be very annoying, but then it's helping me because I tend to hear how I speak, the places that I should work more, and the things that I need to improve on. So for me, those sounds that make me book out loud, and I say nice words to myself. I tell myself that I don't stammer. I tell myself that I don't stammer. When you say these words over and over, it helps your brain to believe that this person is not a stammerer. You have to say the nice words to yourself, even if what is happening might be opposite. You still have to constantly remind yourself that I don't stammer. I speak so well, and I'm confident in everything that I do. So In summary, that's all I can say.
So by chance, have you come across or have you watched this movie, The King's Speech?
No.
It's a movie about Queen Elizabeth's dad. He used to stammer, King
Yeah.
George something. But why I brought this movie up is because there's a part in the movie where he went to visit Daniel. I can't remember his name. Is that Daniel? Something like that. He's a therapist actually. And
Yeah.
so the man made him sing. Like I won't say sing actually. He played song in his ear. Then he now recorded his voice. And he noticed that when he gave him something to read, he was singing fluently with beats playing in his ear
Yeah.
without him hearing his voice. But when he removed the earpiece to read, he can't read it out. So does singing as a way of not making one to stammer? Like if one can just like try to sing out the song.
Is it that when you sing,
Yeah.
is it that it's not possible to stammer when? So my answer for that is that you know that when you sing, it's more like a flow. You know the song, you have the beats. It's more like a flow. But when you speak, it's not a flow. You might have known what you want to say, and you would say something else entirely. Singing is more like a flow, while speaking is not a flow. Some people tend to manage their a boy. The normal way we would have to say I am a boy. But for them, they have this to help. I am a boy. I am a boy. It sounds like a song, but it's going with a flow to the way they talk. So in singing, you have a flow to it. Many of us don't. It just happens the way it happens. So that's my answer for that.
So I let you answer. So this part of stammering having, like, if you want to come out of it a little, you can start with rhythms, flow, gets music. But what about speech disfluency? You won't believe that it took me 3 hours to be able to pronounce disfluency. I saw it from your post. I sat down and I had to start pronouncing it this, And even before I said it, I had to, form the whole word up on my like speech disfluency. And it was through influence that I was able to pronounce disfluency. So, what is the concept of this speech disfluency? Because from your post on LinkedIn, you said it's not the same. How?
Yeah. Okay. It's a big thing, but I'll try my best to explain it in a way that is very simple. So, speech disfluency is different from stammering. Although it might be similar, but they are not the same thing. When we speak about speech disfluency, let's see it as a big nation like Nigeria, as big as this country is. Let's say that is speech disfluency. And stammering can be like a state in Nigeria. Let's say your state, it might be Abia State. Any state that you come from, that is stammering. So you see that they may share the same attributes, but it is not the same thing. Speech disfluency is anything that causes a disruption in your speech. Anything that can cause a disruption in your speech. That is speech disfluency. Even from the name, speech disfluency. Something that should be smooth, but something came in between and make it not smooth. That is speech disfluency. And it can happen to everyone. It happens to everyone. The best speakers have sometimes where they have speech disfluency. When you are stressed, when you are hungry, you can have speech disfluency. In fact, some of us, we use these words like like, has in. All of these things are forms of speech disfluency. That is speech disfluency. Now, when we talk about stammering, it is not everyone that stammers. Not everyone have stammering. Stammering is more specific in sense that people, and for me to make you understand it, stammering is when speech disfluency becomes a normal thing for someone to speak.
Okay.
Stammering is when speech disfluency is now like a consistent thing. It is like a mode to speak for some people. It is not the same thing. Speech disfluence happens to everyone, but stammering is just for a specific set of people. And it is when their speech disfluency has become the only way they can use to speak, the only way they can express what they want to say. You know that, let me just say this. Everyone can say, the man is going, the man is going. It's very simple, right? But for someone who stammers, the person can say, the man has in the man is going. The way the person used has in, those things are speech disfluency, but they had to use it because that was the only way they can express
As
themselves to
himself,
be
yeah.
able to complete their word. So you see that it may be similar, but it's not the same thing.
So there are some times where
Okay.
growing up, I associated with everyone. I was this friendly guy, but
Okay.
I was also reserved in my speaking. Most, like I said, most people did not notice. They don't even know this part of me. Most of my friends don't even really know. There are some things you just know that you need to work on personally. It's my own.
Mm.
I came to the reality of it, and
Yeah.
one thing it did to me mentally was it reduced my self-esteem.
Mm. Yeah.
I remember then in primary two, primary three, there, but when I saw your first post, I was like, I'm going to have here. Like primary two, primary three, there about I, I used to, and I don't use big words. I don't like it. I don't really use big words. I try to simplify my words like to the basics. I was saying in one of my voice notes recently to a friend, I said, the way I teach myself is, if you write something too complex, I will take it to ChatGPT and I'll say, you should give it to me in a primary five. So that I will even normally to even just understand is, it's even difficult a little. Now read what you're saying out is now, a problem.
Mm-hmm.
How do one, especially people watching this video now, bring
Okay.
back their self-esteem? Because it really dealt with me. It took me a lot of time, and I was just trying to be funny guy. Even most of my jokes were boring. I don't know how they are now funny. How do one bring back their self-esteem?
Stammering affects your self-esteem. Yes, it is very real. I've been there. And the moment you were explaining your own, I was just looking at you like, wow, nice one. Because I've been there too. Many people know the way stammering sounds, but they don't know the way stammering feels. And stammering feels very, very bad. It takes a lot of internal struggle to be able to say the words. So even when you have this internal struggle, which are the pain, the shame, the guilt, the anger, it is inside of you. It is there already. You are feeling this thing about yourself. These things will make you to have a low self-esteem. So now that you are in that situation, what can you do to get out of it? The first thing that I believe is the the most important thing is that you need to love yourself. Love yourself the way you are. I tell you, there is nothing that can change you. That stage when you embrace yourself, you love yourself, love the way you speak, love the way you sound. It is unique to you. So love it. Because in the process of you embracing it, you are able to build up this energy to be able to overcome it. For me, the first thing that I did was to love myself the way I am.
Mhm.
Love myself the way I had to love myself the way I am. I had to laugh at myself at some point. I had to get angry at some points. And at the end of it all, I had to show up. And I found out that in the process of loving myself, I was able to build up the energy to speak up, even though I stammer. So for you to have a good self esteem, the first thing is to love yourself. Is because the moment you love yourself, you're able to build up the energy that you need to be able to overcome. The second thing is that ensure that you have a thick skin. Yes, a thick skin, a thick skin. A lot of people will laugh at you. A lot of people will mock you. Some things that you even need, some people will not give you. And it's painful and it can affect your self. self-esteem. But you have to have this mindset. I cannot be limited by this. You have to build up yourself. And you can only build yourself love. But you see that no matter what I want, it still boils down back to loving yourself, embracing yourself, understanding yourself, and knowing that nobody is coming to save you. It is either you get up or you don't get up.
Yeah.
So you have to love yourself. You have to have a thick skin. And the third thing is this: you have to be able to use different methods to be able to speak. If it's that you have to shout when speaking, do it. If it's that you have to force yourself to speak, do it. Because your self-esteem is tied down to how you see yourself. And if you constantly see yourself as someone who cannot speak, your self-esteem cannot be better. So you have to show up by speaking to be able to have a good self-esteem at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yourself. One is that you have a thick skin, and the third thing is for you to use different techniques to be able to speak. Don't be tired of it. Use different techniques, use different ways to be able to show up and speak. And you'll discover that the moment you start doing all these things, you'll be able to show up confident. You'll be able to have a good self-esteem. The last thing is that you have to make sure that your friend, the friends you should be friends that don't mock you. Don't have the friends that would mock you for it. If it needs you to change your circle of friends, you just have to do it.
The last part of it was what helped me. The last point you shared, changing my circle of friends. But it was something you said. You said you need to love yourself. Then you said something. You said sometimes get angry with the way you speak and just try to. There's this popular phrase that stammers are the one who gets angry the most. How true is it? For me, I don't know. Can you look at my own case scenario? I was not that into it. What was my own? I want to know my own. I was not that really. My own was this speech misplacement, most especially. Is it a thing? Is this speech misplacement a thing? If you even notice the way I even speak, sometimes I'm like, that dragging. But most times I used to use big boy and, cover up. Crazy. If I want to say, it was very difficult. Believe me. Primary 2, primary 3, primary 4 was difficult for me. When I want to say, how you do, one thing I used to overcome this part of it was speaking in pidgin. It's weird, right? So I was saying like, "Afa now, how you do?" It's more easier to say that one than saying, "How are you?" Like, "How are you?" was like, "How you are?" Like, I'm like, and the person like, "How I did?" People brain are wired to, hear words straight. Like everybody already used to "How are you?" So even when I say it off, they don't know that I said it off. But I'm like, "Oh God, I just said it again." So is speech misplacement a thing?
Okay. I feel what you had was more of a speech disfluency. It was more of a speech disfluency than stammering. That's because stammering is more of this internal fight to be able to say your words. But for you, it was more of you having to calm down to access what you want to say and say it. So it's more of a speech disfluency, and it can go. The funny thing is that the moment you started speaking, I didn't even notice it. So it is more of you know yourself. So you feel like, oh, everyone would know that this is the way I speak. But no, if I did not even see that, what else we will see? So it's more of a speech disfluency and not stammering.
And back to that part where they said people who stammer get angry easily, most especially when you end their word for them. and I was
Yeah.
at the edge. Thank God my podcast is sit at the edge. I was at the edge, not trying to end your own. What is your own real experience with it? Like, when people end the word for you, do you feel bad? Do you get angry for like them trying to help you out? Because most people, I had a friend who is not. It doesn't stammer, but he's not mentally okay, and when you do things for him, he feels like it's not what it's like. You think so? How was it for you?
Okay, from my own experience, I would say that having to end my words for me, it gave me this image of you think I'm not capable of doing it.
Mm.
So that's the way it appears to me. And it doesn't make me angry. It just makes me see you as someone that doesn't want me. So I tend to just excuse myself from talking to you. Mm. That's what I used to do then. But now, if you end my words for me, my dear, thank you.
This yeah, lady. Definitely a guy will have come and approach you to want to.
Look at the camera and say it now.
So okay, let me look at the camera. This is like job it tough. Let me look at me. I will still come back to this looking at people eyeball to eyeball to speak, but let me ask this question. Yeah, lady, definitely a guy will come and ask you out.
Yeah.
And when he hears you speak, how did he end? Like, how did he end up? Like, oh, what's this reaction? Like, hearing you, especially from someone like as beautiful as you. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice one, though. But what I can just say is that it boils down to the way you see yourself.
Yeah.
For someone like me, I naturally don't accept to speak with everyone. So even for you to come and talk to me, it must have been that we've known each other for some time, and you know that I stammer. So it's entirely not something that I have experienced. Although some people say that it doesn't. Can't really answer that.
Now, that part of where you said you look at it as it,
Yeah.
most people stammer don't look at the eyes of people to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it add up to the reason why they keep, they are still limited to speak?
Hmm. Okay. When they don't look at they are talking to, it's more of the anxiety. It's more of the way they feel about themselves. They know that if they look at you eye to eye, you will tend to laugh because of how the internal struggle must have been expressed in their face.
Yeah.
Look down so that you don't see the way they look like when they are stammering. Yes, so it's mostly that.
I would want us to end with two questions, and the first question will be: can trauma cause stammering?
Hmm. Well, yes, it can, but it's very rare. It's very rare. It can very rare. In sense that we have two kinds of stammering. Two kinds. The first one is the developmental. Hmm. It's one that happens when the child is still young and the child is learning the new language. So the child tends to stammer. You see that one? It's kind of normal. But the second one now is what we call the acquired term. Even from the word acquired, it means that it happened along the way. It's not something that has been there since they were born. It happened along the way, and it can be caused by accidents, by injury, and even by trauma. Acquired stammering is something that causes excessive shock to the to the brain and cause the brain to now rearrange the way it access speech. So it's very possible for trauma to cause stammering, but it's very rare.
Now, that brings me to my last question. When I wrote this question on my notepad, I
Yeah.
generalized it. But now
Okay.
I want to narrow it down because
Okay.
I want it to be a you to them kind of question and answer. If you had 1 minute to advise female or to advise parents about their female child, now you see I'm not generalizing it now, about the
Yeah.
female child who stammer. If you had 1 minute to advise parents who have a female child that stammer,
Yeah.
what would you tell them in 1 minute?
Hmm. I wish I had every minute, but then it's all good. So, in summary, it's just two things. It's just two things. The first one is that make your child knows that she is loved regardless of how she speaks. Make her know that even if everyone laughs, she can come back home and her dad won't laugh at her, and mom won't laugh at her, the siblings won't laugh at her. It it makes the child feel the sense of love in the home, and it helps them to be confident in themselves that even if the world laughs or mocks me, I know that I can come back home and everyone will still accept me. And the second thing is that you teach that your child to love herself the way she is. You teach her to love herself the way she sounds. You teach her to love herself the way she might express it. Because it's in teaching her to love the way she sounds that she's able to have the energy to overcome it. Yeah, so that's it. And I wanted to say something. You said that I said that sometimes you have to get angry at you.
Yeah,
So don't get me, don't give another meaning to
contest,
what I
yeah.
said. What I meant is that don't be too comfortable with loving how we sound.
Mm,
Have to just fight it and tell yourself that I am not like this. I can be better. You get angry at being comfortable with the way you sound, and you will stretch yourself to be able to speak better than you do. So that's what I meant by saying that thing.
you are welcome. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining. Promise. I really, really, really appreciate. Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.